So my husband's a flight engineer for the Army, and he's been deployed twice. Once was to Afghanistan, and then he just had a deployment to Germany.
My husband's name is Brent Miller. He is a tank mechanic, a maintenance chief in the Marine Corps. He's moved twice, although we don't factor in the deployments and the constant trainings, but they are technically moves.
My husband's name is Bobby Cena, and he does logistics with the military. I've been in North Carolina for 4 years now. Generally, we are going on the dot every 3 years. This has been the longest that we've been somewhere.
I was practicing law in Louisiana, in New Orleans. He was on leave and passing through New Orleans. We met through mutual friends, and I said, I don't have any interest in dating you, you're military. I am not moving around the country for anyone, and I'm not giving up my career. And 6 months later, I did exactly everything that I said I would not do. Moved across the country, gave up my career, and followed him around for the last 4 years.
I went to undergrad at Florida State, and then I went to law school at Nova Southeastern University. I graduated law school, took my first bar, was in Florida, passed that. And I actually started practicing law at a firm, having clients, traditional practice. And then about 6 months in, we got the call to go to Texas. It was a huge eye-opener. I realized that he was in the Army, didn't think about the fact that there were so many moves involved and the fact that I would be restarting my career every time we moved. I really just didn't think about it. I thought about the fact that I liked him and I wanted to be with him and that was important to me, and that following what I wanted to do was important to me. So I really kind of put everything on the back burner that wasn't necessarily falling into those two categories. And I figured that no matter what, if those were the two things that were important to me, everything else would find a way to match.
I've actually been turned down from positions. When we moved to North Carolina specifically, I was looking to possibly get back into practicing law because I stopped while we were in California. I didn't want to sit for the bar. Very thankful I did not, because we were only there for I was only there for 6 months before we moved. And we moved, and I started interviewing for legal positions ahead of time, and they said, oh, you're a military spouse. Well, you're only going to be here for 3 to 5 years, so why would we invest in you when you're going to leave us in 3 to 5 years? And I thought, that's really not fair, because you're missing out on a lot of talent. Not necessarily just myself, but in general, you're missing out on a ton of talent.
It's really tough to go through the moves and know that your career really could be impacted each time, and to a point where you may not be able to provide the way you thought. I've put myself into my career. That's what I'm passionate about. Yes, I have hobbies and things that I like to do on the side, but really when I wake up every day, it's, okay, what am I going to do for work today? What do I need to do? What do I need to get done? And that's what I want to be doing. So that's what I really focus on. It's what's really important to me, knowing that one move here or there could really just stop it all, and then we go from 2 incomes to 1 and potentially have these huge bills on our hands that we can't meet because I'm all of a sudden out of a job. Those are really scary thoughts that just, thinking about them too long could just crush a person.
So one of the biggest challenges for a military family, especially with a cross-country move, is getting set up ahead of time and worrying about having a reduction in income, because as a spouse, you're not guaranteed to find a job. So having TCDI's program that allows you to be remote and understands the needs and flexibility of the military, or the lack of flexibility of the military, has been really beneficial and has reduced the stress of this upcoming move probably by 50%, at least.
The MSMR program has allowed me to discover my relevance again in the work industry, and it's allowed me to actually contribute to not only a work environment but to my family.
It's always a concern, even among law firms and attorneys, that remote document review is not secure, and that's just false, because it is. One, TCDI has certainly taken numerous steps to implement security measures to make sure that I am the person who is logging in and I am the person who is doing the document review. But as a military spouse, we're typically held to a much higher security standard anyway. They have operational security measures that we're supposed to follow. And so if we were, as military spouses, to break that security, whether that were operational security for the military, or for TCDI's review projects, the punishment would be much harsher for us than just your standard non-military spouse attorney.
So the Military Spouse Managed Review Program is a great way to allow those military spouses to continue using the degree that they put that hard work into, continue using the degree that cost them that much money to get, continue to provide for their family and have this income and still do something that at the end of the day they decided years ago was what they wanted to do. It's this way for them to still be meaningful and still be able to contribute to the passionate things that they were always interested in.